Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Egberto, Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. Specifically, we're going to talk about these Congress people that are trying to, come into your fold and lie to you and tell you whatever they think they can get away with, and the sycophants who allow them to do it. Well, you know what? I am so proud of the Kingwood audience, a group of both progressives and conservatives that went out to the town hall by Dan Crenshaw yesterday and showed him who was boss, that he ran out of there. And they're going to say, oh, he had previous commitments and all that crap. They changed it. They changed it around. They first had all the questions. They were going to let folks stand up and ask their questions. When they saw the massive crowd coming in, when they saw that it was a crowd that was not necessarily sympathetic to the lies that the Republicans have been telling consistently over the last not only decades but even in most recent times, they knew something was up, so they had the questions collected, and since they were organized to ask several of the questions the same, they were left without a whole lot of questions other than substantive questions to ask. And then, of course, when Dan Patrick came, well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we get started, I lost the first few dozen folks on Substack, so please go ahead and tell me your city and state so I can call you out if you want to be called out. That's well, but I lost the first 40 or so. So if you'll go ahead and call out your city and state, I'd love to call you out. But anyhow, in the other chat, we have welcome aboard Paul Fleming from Powder Springs, Georgia. Patrick Magner from Meow. Who's that again? Patrick Magner from Houston, Texas. We also have in the house AVQ. Brooklyn, New York. I have family over today. Gonna leave this in the background. Thank you, brother. You know, I love you, Michael. You are so consistent with us here. You have been, you are a great supporter here, my dear brother. Thank you for being here. I want to say, Do You Lie is in the house. Gretchen is in the house. Paul is in the house. Laura Gomez is in the house. Gayla Kunis from Evans, Georgia. Gretchen from Keller, Texas. How you doing, Gretchen? You know, I was out there in Kerrville, Texas. We actually went out there to a peach farm and etc. Is Keller close to Kerrville at all? I don't know where Keller, Texas is specifically speaking. Is it rural? Is it? Let me know. Because if it's rural, I want to talk specifically to the people in your area. So let me know, Gretchen, if Keller is a rural area. Okay, we also have in the house Lee the Bearcat from Austin, Texas. And we have Harry Denson, my brother from Missouri, Texas. How you doing, Harry? Great to see you here. We also have in the house Bruce Pollard. Somebody is making lots of software pesos. ¿Qué pasó, hermano? No sé si entiendo lo que está diciendo. I don't know if I understand what you're saying there. But anyway, let's see. We also have Paul. Well, I got to Paul already. Eric from Atascocita, Kingwood Lee Grant from Montgomery County. Welcome aboard, guys. Gretchen said we are west of the DFW airport. So you are moving into going towards Fort Worth, I imagine. If you're DFW and you're moving west, I imagine you'll be going closer to Fort Worth. And then you start to move into rural town. But anyway, town of 48,000. Small town, but is it suburb or rural? Suburb or rural? I'm curious. Melanie Fry, welcome aboard. Jean Bedford from Odessa, Texas. How you doing, Odessa, Texas, up there in oil country? Tina D. How you doing, Tina D? Great to have you here as well. We're going to have a great show for you guys tonight, folks. We're going to have a great show. But I want suburb. Got you, Gretchen. I want to get you started on a positive note. And of course, because I get the show ready just in time, I didn't have it ready. So let me go to it. It's a TikTok that I loved. I can tell you, I loved seeing this TikTok because it will give all of you that sit back there a lot of times and feel like the world is falling down and it's all over. I want you guys to hear this, and I want you guys to feel how I felt when I listened to it. So are you ready? Are you all ready to hear this? I love this guy. Are you ready to hear it? Let's listen to this, brother.
As the wheels are going to fall off of this thing. They really are going to fall off this thing. It's going to happen. Oh, but it hasn't happened yet. I get it. I really do get it. And it's upsetting. And the hopes and prayers are upsetting. And the fact that they've gone after military leaders who are black, Fed governors who are black, Library of Congress people who are black. It goes on and on and on. There's no way that the MAGA is anything other than racist. I don't like saying that, but it's factual. Look around. Just look at what they've done. It's going to come off for this reason. Okay. Super simple. I'm going to share with you something. I'm from Louisiana originally, and we had this story that we used to talk about there, that there was this family. There's families, this community, and in this community, they had a lake, and there were houses all around the community, around the lake. And, sometimes somebody's cat or dog would go missing, and that wasn't nice, but it was okay. Then the alligators took a kid, and that was too far. They promptly drained the lake and destroyed all the alligators. The moral of the story is, when you take it too far, the snapback is hard. That is coming. But that doesn't mean you're not going to be depressed today. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to be unsafe today. And that doesn't mean that you magically will be able to look at your neighbors and not think that they are crazy. And that doesn't mean you can think for sure that we're going to be okay in 2026. It does mean, however, that we cannot continue to think that the world is coming to an end, because it is not coming to an end. Because all of these actions, these brazen actions, will ultimately be answered with a hard snapback, because it's the only possible thing that can happen. I've often said no one's coming to save us. And it is true, no one's coming to save us. We're here to save us. We're going to do this. Believe it or not, you, me, we're the majority. We're going to do this. They can't gerrymander us out of existence. And I promise you, no matter what you believe about anything else, there's something called seed, time, and harvest. You reap what you sow, you reap more, and you reap later. And I'm telling you, the harvest is coming, and it's going to be rough for them. I don't know how this is going to play out. All I know is you can't have this many balls in the air without things falling apart. And I think we're well on our way. And I had to remind myself of this today, because history tells us this is true. But my God in heaven, just please, not one more depressing day. Just not one more. I don't know how any of us can handle it, but we still have to. We still have to. And God love you for what you do. God love you for being real. God love you for having a soul. God love you for understanding love. Peace, y'all. Keep up the good work. I don't know when it's going to be, but we're going to have.
I saw that is my inner being. This guy was my kinfolk. When I listened to that, I'm like, people always say, why are you so positive? Why do you remain positive even as you're hitting the system? Why? This brother that we just played, that is what I have internalized. And this brother got it. You see what I'm saying, guys? This brother has it. And that message, he said it better than I ever could. And I love the analogy that he gave. I love that he said, look, we're going to feel pain. We're going to feel this. My daughter had, and folks, I use my daughter in a lot of examples, because what I went through with my daughter over the last 5 years was traumatic. I mean, when I say traumatic, having a young daughter in med school who has 2 strokes, one in her 3rd year, one in her 4th year, watching her go from all the promise to all the difficulties that she's had, and go through so much where at points she thought things were never going to get any better. And when she was moving on and getting sicker and sicker and sicker, started to make an improvement. And then, bam, the second stroke came. And then then the recovery, and having to move to DC and take care of her for all this time. And you look, and by the way, I want to thank my PDR posse, my village here, because absent that, even with the smile and the work and all of that, you don't know what's internalized and going on the inside. But we always knew, and I would tell her, and I would force myself to believe that a better day is coming, babe. A better day is coming, and it's going to get better. It's going to get better. So as we go through what we're going through, seeing the evil that this administration represents, seeing how this administration has made people evil, have taken away the soul and the hearts of many, have made hate and all these things common within people, that it becomes a part of their norms. It gets better. It gets better. My daughter, even as she cannot be a doctor because she's impaired on her left side, etc., she became a trainer to help people that are paralyzed, and she, with her paralyzed self, help other people that are paralyzed. She also went back to tutoring to get her teaching skills, and she went ahead and took the test and became teacher. Now she is a 6th grade teacher, and with a laid out room, with a laid out science room with all the tools and the lab stuff and all of that. But here's the deal, because this is like talking to exactly what she told me this morning. She gets up in the morning, getting ready to go to work. She loved those kids, a lot of badass kids, and she's there working with them, saying how much she's going to change them. And she tells me, right after my morning program, she says, Dad, I can't tell you the last time that I felt like this, that I felt moving, that I felt positive, that I felt this way. Things change. And it doesn't matter that she will likely go through some of her bad times again. Who knows? All of us do. But the grass eventually comes back. The goodness of folks, including some of the ones who have allowed their prejudices, have allowed their fears to rule them, that's going to get better. It's not a permanence. And what this brother said that we just listened to, what this brother said is right. The snapback is coming. Those who became the inception of evil, yes, we must have them atoned, either voluntarily or excommunicated. Yes, they must pay for, there must be a stopgap. Yes, but we are going to come back. And understand it, people. Understand it. It's going to be a new dawn. It's going to be a new dawn when this comes back. And you're going to say, we would have learned. We would have learned so much when that snapback occurs. But the snapback is not automatic. You have to be that engine. You have to be the fuel for that snapback. And let me tell you what I saw yesterday at that meeting. I have been to many a town hall in Kingwood. I've been to many to the fairs and everything we have in Kingwood. Kingwood is was a very conservative town. And the snapback that has a genesis, right, it has that genesis that has begun. And we've seen it in many ways. Thank you, Cindy Hendrickson, if you're listening today. Somebody has to take the lead. And we have women in Kingwood, Cindy and Vicky comes to mind. Cindy and Vicky has held the bull by the horns to arrange many a people in Kingwood to feel free to step out, our conservative town. And as they are stepping out, people are following and coming along. Never have we ever had a progressive rally in this town of more than likely 50 to 70 people or so. Maybe if you want to count a few more fingers, 100 or so. She brought out 700 people for that rally, that No Kings rally. She's had two other rallies followingly. One brought out about 80, one's brought up about 90. These were very lowly advertised within 2 and 3 days. And she got those people out. Vicky Fried and Sindre Hendrickson. Now, some may look at that and say that's a fluke. Well, here is what's not a fluke. Well advertised. Dan Crenshaw, very well advertised, having a town hall. And he sets it at a time when people are coming home from work but won't get there in time. A 5 o'clock town hall. A 5 o'clock town hall. We are deep in the suburbs in Kingwood. To get back here from the freeway, just to get back here, just rush hour, takes more than a half hour. You can be guaranteed the people he expected to come to that town hall were the people in Kingwood who don't work. The moms who go play tennis. The moms who go chill during the day for lunch, etc. The dads who have their little practices here that have always supported the Tea Party, that has always supported these conservative organizations. As I got to that thing yesterday, I went ahead and I heard, "Hey, Egberto!" Cindy Hendrickson. She has her, "I think I'm going to wear my mask. I think a lot of people are coming." Okay. "Hey, Cindy, you got an extra mask?" But damn it, I didn't wear the mask, but she had the extra mask for me. And I went into the place and we got there about 4:15. It's empty. Just a few people, but a few of, his people were sitting in front. You want that buffer zone. And if you look at my camera, those people in front are the buffer zones. Now, as soon as I got up and set up my cameras, etc., I turned around and looked, and the lines are out the door. And people are coming in and coming in. Some of these people are the progressives that I know in the area. Some of them are the conservative guys that I know in the area because I've met them in Starbucks and we've had talks in Starbucks, but they kept on piling in. And I did a pan of the stuff. There are over 500 people in there. This is Kingwood, Texas, guy. And you would think the people that are here are the ones that are going to kind of, like when the Tea Party was at its apex, they were raising hell. You couldn't get a word in if they went to a progressive thing, or even if you went to a conservative-like town hall. As soon as a progressive said something, they would shut you down so quickly. But baby, that wasn't to be. Because the conservatives in that crowd were there. They were there. But they held their tongue and they let the progressives in that room shout out to get the questions that were never going to be answered, but to show that, yes, this guy is going to come back to his town and he's going to get pushed back and he can talk and lie and lie. And the people weren't going to buy it. I taped it, but just before the show, I put together a little 8-minute excerpt of what that room kind of sounded like. I didn't do all the roughest part of it, but I just kind of want you guys to see what that room sounded like. And I want all of you all over this country, go to those town halls and raise hell. Go to those town halls and raise hell and show them that you know they are evil. And I'm not biting my words. I'll show you later why they are evil. Inculcate that in your mind. It's not about, you don't hate them, but you hate the evil they represent. And they are, in fact, evil. Take a listen.
Why should you cut everybody's taxes? Why do you not raise the wealthy tax?
Not really. Tell the truth. Answer our question.
Okay, so this is what it's about that Medicare reform, how we say it was $1 trillion. Again, I'm not going to happen. This is what happened.
That's not
Why tax
Basically, you have to be prenatal amazing.
What about the rural hospitals in Texas that are closing? Yeah.
What about waiting for the question and answer period?
We have those in the question and answer period coming up. Can we please?
She won't have the time to because he's coming in right after. There's a reason why she's doing that. Okay? So you be quiet and you listen.
Back in 2018, our records
When you're screaming, he can't answer your question.
Well, you've been talking for
Because you're screaming at him, so he can't answer your question. You should educate yourself.
I have.
Okay.
Why do you just sit up as an engineer in this moment? I'm an engineer. Why do you sit up and the energy is completely wrong? Completely wrong. And he expects you to believe it.
We don't want to hear from you.
We don't want to hear.
Well, can I get the mic also?
Answer our questions. Yay, take a question.
I'm going to stop asking you questions the moment that you guys get out of line.
Is it really true that you're costing the taxpayer money when you let the taxpayer keep on their money? Raising your taxes, I don't even know. The question is, which part of the tax bill benefits only billionaires?
I can tell you one. Let me tell you one. I'll tell you one. I got one. He said one.
Your question is, why can't you wait? There's more tax question. It's a question you see. Why can't you? It's a selling reason.
We all benefited from increasing the taxes where they are. No, we did. The complaint is we have a progressive tax system. We're a progressive tax code. The more you make, the bigger percentage you pay because you can have a report. So the question becomes, why then those who make billions and not billions, why do they not see an increase in their taxes? He didn't come to hear you, buddy.
Yeah, he did.
You asked me questions. Sit down. Thank you. Sit down.
Thank you.
Why did we do that?
Yes, sir. What?
After years, it's just give you federal government money.
Answer a real question, please.
That's a lie.
Wealthiest people by far pay the most. Americans for the next 4 years. Come on, we don't believe that. I think the biggest problem with unity that we just hired the money. So
There's some stuff that I really need to ask you. All over country.
And he ran. He couldn't handle it. He ran. He didn't even stay the 60 minutes that he was supposed to because he had. Now, I want to show you guys, for people who say, oh, it's ruckus, they weren't giving him time, you can't understand. You had to disrupt this piece of you know what, folks. You had to. Let me tell you why. Because his intent was to come in there and talk. The expectation that he would have had his low information folks there giving him easy questions. Guess what? They weren't there. The few that were there, again, didn't even have questions to ask. The only ones that had questions were the informed. But here's the other part. Notice when that guy stood up and asked a sensible question, the room went completely quiet. I want to show you there that the disruption was there to make sure that he listened. And when somebody decided to ask a sensible question, organically, this is how you understand good protesting. The room organically ensured that question was going to be heard. They didn't keep their just ruckus. There is talent to the madness. And that's what impressed me so much about this particular town hall. Yes, he bloviated. Yes, he came there to just talk. But what we got out of that was that the people are engaged. The people are no longer all his sycophants in this area. And I don't think many of you can understand how deep that runs in this area. The sycophancy for the GOP, the sycophancy for MAGA. And that you start to see that eroding, that you start to see people starting to say, oh my God, this may actually really affect my pocketbook, including those people who actually think they have something. And that's where the magic is. So when we listen to that brother that we listened to at the beginning of the program talks about the snapback, that's what the snapback is all about. I see that brother, let's see, Paul Fleming has a video here. I wonder if I can actually, let's do that video. I didn't listen to it, but just because of what you said it is, I want to listen to it, brother. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen.
He name dropped you personally yesterday, essentially trying to say that crime is worse in Louisiana than it is in California. Take a listen. We'll get your thoughts.
If he is to invest in crime suppression, I hope the President of the United States would look at the facts. Just consider Speaker Johnson's state and district. Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher than California's in Louisiana.
Have at it.
Again, Gavin Newsom will do anything for attention. He can name drop me all he wants. He needs to go and govern his state and not be engaging in all of this. Look, we have crime in cities all across America, and we're against that everywhere, and we need to bring policies to bear. My hometown of Shreveport has done a great job of reducing crime gradually, but we've got to address it everywhere that it rears its ugly head. And I think every major city in the country, the residents of those cities are open to that and anxious to have it, and we're the policy, we're the party that's going to bring that forward. I look forward to that in the days ahead.
Principally, though, how do you feel?
But he name dropped you personally yesterday, essentially trying to say that crime is worse in Louisiana than it is in California. Take a listen. We'll get.
Now, as you can see, he fumbled. He couldn't answer because, again, this is what Republicans do. It's the biggest projector there is, right, for these Republican politicians. Everything that you hear them say, it's who they are. Oh, crime rate. The crime rate is higher in red states than blue states. The crime rate is higher in Louisiana, 4 times higher in Louisiana than it is in California. And they like to talk, right? Blue states, no, the ones who need reform are the red states. And what I'm happy that Newsom is doing is throwing it right back in their faces. They also need to do more often that says, hey, Louisiana, stop taking California's money. Start taking care of yourself. Stop being a welfare state, Louisiana. Stop being a welfare state, Alabama. Stop being a welfare state, Mississippi. It's evident you guys don't know how to run your own economy because you depend on us blue states to run your economies. If you got to fight these paper tigers. You have got to fight these guys that have Americans believing that somehow conservatism works. It does not. And the reason it does not is math. Again, folks, it's simple. Math. We have another story here that I picked up out of Daily Kos, and it goes like this. I want you guys to hear this in detail. These red states opted out of a program to give families summer grocery support. Here's the deal. We have a president that's putting on tariffs on Mexico, on Canada, where we get a lot of our produce from in Mexico. And what happens then? Of course, the prices go up. So his tariffs causes prices to go up. He's deporting a lot of undocumented workers who normally work the fields. Shortage of labor, prices go up. And what do we have for that? These red states opted out of a program to give families summer grocery support. Now, you asked me, Brother Lee Grant, do I think those guys are evil. I don't have to think they're evil. If you do things that are evil and you promote things that are evil and you starve people and you take people's health care away and you lie about it, how else can that be defined? Please, for all of you who don't like when I call these folks evil, please tell me, what should I call them? Those people that are watching Texans and Americans die because they won't support the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act that we are already paying for. But they rather see Texans die. They rather see Americans die. Please give me a word for it. Come on, MAGA folks in my chat. Please give me a word. I'm waiting. What should I call them? People are dying. People are starving. What should I call them? I'm waiting. Give me a call. What should I call them? All right, here we go. Last year, Stephanie Couch had some help getting through the summer months when her two daughters, aged 11 and 14, were out of school. Both girls receive free breakfast and lunch at school, but those meals disappear in the summer. Henceforth, we give a summer program to help families whose titles one kids normally eat at school. In 2024, the Tennessee residents receive summer EBT short of electronic benefit transfer, which loads about $120 for each child onto a card that parents can use to buy groceries to fill the gap. It meant a lot, she said. She was able to buy all of the fruits and vegetables her growing children needed. This summer looks different. While last year Tennessee and Indiana joined the summer EBT program, also known as Sunbucks, this year their Republican governors chose to opt out of the federal program. That left Couch with a lot less money. Some nights meat was off the table, other times dinner was just ramen. She skipped both meals and bills to get through the summer. Sometimes not paying her electricity bill in full or paying her rent late. Her girls have noticed that there's less food in the house. When we don't get nothing to eat, they know, she said. Couch, a single mother, works full-time as a custodian on the Fort Campbell Army base. So these are working people. Working people. A society that doesn't pay them their worth. And also, at the same time, refuse to give them the help. Not to lazy people, but to people the economic system has screwed. She called her governor's decision not to participate in the EBT this year wrong, adding, how can they not feed the kids? And Patrick nails it. Sinister. Lisa Randall nails it. Cold, heartless, soulless, selfish, rich only deserve tax dollars sobs. Thank you. You nailed it. In 2020, Congress created Pandemic EBT, a program that sent the parents of children who receive free and reduced price schools meals up to $120 per child, paid for entirely by the federal government. So look, I want to show you how evil this is. These programs, Tennessee wasn't going to pay a penny out of their coffers. They could continue giving their rich people the tax breaks because it wasn't coming from Tennessee. But still, the evil within, they still couldn't see it from their hearts to give those who so needed the food, those who so needed the help, even as it cost them nothing. And folks, that's the same thing Texas is doing. Every evil Republican Texas legislature is doing the same thing. All those folks in Dallas, Houston, El Paso, San Antonio, Brenham, Yoakum, and all these people that need health care. It's already paid for. But Texas says, no, you can't have it. You cannot have it. Is that not evil? And anybody who votes for these people are supporting the evil they represent. Can you see that? What would Jesus do for those of you that follow Jesus? What would Moses do for those of you who follow Judaism? What would Allah do. Think. Now, 13 states with all Republican. Last year was the first year, and 13 states, all with Republican governors, decided not to participate in this. 15 governors are refusing the free lunch. Okay, 15 governors. Go ahead and link it. And here we go. The poor. The states that don't collect enough money for their own people, but they let their well-to-do fine. Alabama, the same culprits, folks. Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, all already rank on the top 10 rates with the highest food insecurity rates. Again, evil. And they go and claim to have some moral superiority over you. Yet they put into an office a person a judge has called a rapist, a person convicted of assaulting a woman, a person that talks about grabbing a woman by her private parts. That's who you chose. And the evil came along. So look, progressives and well-meaning Republicans and independents. It's in your hands. Again, it's in your hands. Don't be fooled by the rhetoric and all the crap about what immigrants do and all of that. It's all a lie. The largest block of people committing crimes have nothing to do with undocumented workers. Nothing. Are there undocumented workers that commit crimes? Yes, but Americans commit way more. And do we, as Americans, commit crimes in other countries? Of course we do. And it's not only our petty crimes, it's what our corporations do in these other countries that cause the death of many. You get it, folks? So let's lift our heads up high. And when you have these evil folks that are supporting these evil people, don't sit back and just take it. Be civil, but let it be known. We know you're evil. Let it be known. Who would elect such a person into office? We know you're evil. Who will starve a kid? We know you're evil. Who would cause the death or the worsening of somebody else's illness? But as Lisa Randall says, cold, heartless, soulless, selfish, rich. As Cheryl says, he's evil as hell and a fascist pig, a wannabe dictator. Again, you don't have to fall. You don't have to cower. It is time to hold the bulls by both horns and execute. That's why I love my Kingwood people. My Kingwood people in this conservative town. This town can no longer be considered just a conservative town as we see people waking up. As we see people saying, you know what? How can we support the evil? How can we do that? Come on, folks. Join the good side because the snapback is coming. And when that snapback comes, yes, there are many that are going to just say, oh, I've seen the light. But there are many that are going to just have to atone. And they will never be looked at the same before. I know there are friends that I have. They'll remain friends. But they've taught me something about themselves. They've taught me that under the right circumstances, I could never, ever have any sort of faith in them. Again, like I said, they'll be a friend. I'll still give them a hug. I'll still love on them. But when it comes to having to have respect, having to be caring for them, I will never, ever look at them the same. Ever look at them the same. I will always see them as human beings. but very, very flawed human beings with severe character cracks. And since I can never know if the weld of those cracks will hold as they atone, I know that there were a lot of people during this time that actually said, I will not follow the crowd. I will not turn into the evil that Trump has turned so many into. I will not. I will not reciprocate in that regards. Okay? Now, let's see. E227 says about reality, demand of them things they can do. Exactly. E2247 also says, get educated before you rant as your representatives and senators, judges, and executives. Exactly. Thank you for that, E2247. You're absolutely right about that. But anyhow, I think it's important for us to understand going forward. Brother Ray Brackens is in the house. How you doing, sir? Talk to me.
Yeah, brother, I heard you over there, and I heard the brother earlier about, draining the swamp or draining the lake, as you say.
Right.
And, it's going to come, but, I guess sometimes as a member of the masses, you look around and you see a bunch of people that just are either oblivious or choose to act oblivious to what's going on. It's like, I was on my Facebook and I have a lot of friends who are in the trans community. So,
right.
One of the things that she said was that, it's hard to even just go outside. It's hard to even, and I appreciate you so much, Egberto, for keeping the faith in people, even what you just said, knowing you can't trust people that you call friends. But she was saying, like, it's hard to go outside because it just doesn't seem like there's anything good out there. It seems like it's just evil. And I feel that. It's like, if I'm in a crowd of 10 people and I think about, 30 to 20 something % of people, approve of Trump's job, I always think if I'm in a crowd of more than 10 people, there's probably at least 3 of those people that are okay with what's going on. And that doesn't sit right with me. And it's like, it just makes me look at everybody so weird. It's like if you were in a vampire movie and you didn't know who was the secret vampires, and you don't want to get bit, so you can't trust anybody, Well, and that's really what we're like, because these people are like vampires sucking off of the.
Can I add to
you
that?
Go ahead. I'm just rambling.
No. I want to give you your kudos, and I want to say this. I want us to thank Donald Trump. I really want us to thank Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is the one who has allowed us to see those with a character flaw. Because those that follow Donald Trump have that same character flaw. I'm not saying they're evil like Donald Trump. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying they can be led by Donald Trump. The same folks that were led by Hitler, the same folks that were led by these people, that's who they are. So therefore, when and Natalie, I hear you. Natalie says, sorry, Egbert, but people, Egberto, my dad was Egbert. Egberto was me because, well, there's a long history about Panama and English names. But anyhow, what I must say is that Donald Trump has, I know, when there's a crime scene, right? And there's a lot of blood spatter and you clean up the blood, right? So all Americans have cleaned themselves up from their racism, sexism, and all the isms, right? Well, when I was going to China, when I got rid of my homophobia, when I got rid of my sexism, or began to get rid of, because the total came later, it was like Pi went ahead and he threw that fluid on me so that all that stuff could be exposed, right? And I had to come to the reality of the evil within, right? Now, what Trump did is Trump is that fluid that throws that, I don't remember what you call the fluid. You throw that stuff on this ground and you put the blue light on it and you see all the blood spatters because of the blue light after you put that fluid on. That is what Trump did. That is what he did. And what he did is two things. He let us know a lot of what was simmering underneath, right? And number two, he also showed us to look at those who we will never, ever be able to fully trust. And what I'm trying to say is that trust is going to take a lot to recover, but it should. Because remember, anybody who voted for Trump, as I'm a black guy, Latino, Caribbean, you're a black American, African American brother. All right? Your friend is a trans. What that says is that all those people that you thought were your friends and otherwise that voted for that guy do not really mind if you are harmed or maimed. Remember that. I want all of you out there to remember that. Everybody who voted for this guy, and that includes family members of mine as well. I said I would love him and I'll continue to do that. But do remember that when time was up, they voted in a manner that said if you had to be harmed, they were okay with it. Remember that. And that's what I said. There's much that they will have to do to recover and earn my trust. And everybody who did the right thing should hold them accountable as such. Continue, my brother.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, it speaks to a part of this country, like those ladies from the iHip podcast. You know, I don't know if you ever watched them, but
yes,
you know, when that lady said, take your fat ass back to Cracker Barrel, which changed their logo back, by the way, over that's another thing they hate, when you change their cultural symbols, you know. But she was right, you know. I mean, there's a lot of MAGA people like that actress Laverne Cox said. She was dating a MAGA-loving cop, and the community had dragged her for it, because why would you even involve yourself romantically with somebody you know who, if the revolution came along and you had to be sacrificed, you're a trans woman of black experience, no matter how famous you are, this man does not have your interest at heart. And I feel like anybody, absolutely anybody, who sat there and watched the January 6th footage in its total, you don't have to see it in its total. You see 10 seconds of that clip. See one clip of them scaling that wall like commandos, and you tell me the man who sparked that kind of evil to literally storm the Capitol deserved another chance. Get the F out of here. You know, there used to be a saying that this guy on the Celebrity Fit Club, I don't know if you remember that, way back when VH1 was like the reality.
Oh yeah.
But the Colonel used to look at people with a straight face and he just say, waste of sperm. That's what you are. You should have been, your mother should have swallowed you. I'm sorry. I know this is a family show, but you know, I'm feeling the vibe right now, Egberto, and these people, they have to atone eventually, or they don't have a place in society. As far as I'm concerned, they're dead to me. They've been turned to vampires.
Yep. Actually, E2247, I thought I read your stuff out already. I did. Oh, you have another one. Targeting persons who do not have the power to meet your demand is a waste of time, resources, goods, services have the power to use, and morale you need to win your issues. I read the others already, brother E2247. So anyway, thank you for calling in, my brother. You have a good one, okay? And have a great weekend. I think I'm going to do some. I'll probably have a Substack program over the weekend, because anything that comes up, I just want to get on here and talk about it. Thank you, brother. Folks, we're coming to the end of the program. Anybody else want to call? I can take another call for 30 seconds or so. If you call, that is 281-823-7747. Again, that is 281-823-7747. But again, brothers and sisters, I mean, like I said before, things are changing, and the TikTok that I played for you earlier today, please keep that TikTok in the back of your head. Chuck Pinocchio, how you doing, my brother? Thanks for all you do to enlighten us, brother EW. Well, Chuck Pinocchio, that feeling is mutual, because the work that you do with one state, one pair of states, folks, you got to check that out. It's amazing. Thank you for what you're doing for healthcare. Thank you for what you're doing for healthcare. Chuck is the founder, executor of One Pair States. Thank you very much, my brother, for what you do. Okay, especially about Crenshaw's committee jurisdiction. I think we covered that. But anyhow, folks, again, we're getting out of here. It's 4:00. I want to ask all of you who have the wherewithal to do so. Please support the program however you can. This program is not just here. The program is also on the on FM radio. We also have it on several other streaming channels. We also have it played on several Pacifica Network AM stations throughout Virginia and other places. And by the way, all of that we give away. All our product here, everything we produce, we want to make sure it gets as wide a coverage as possible. So there are many low-power AM stations that are carrying Politics Done Right. A few other FM stations around the country, part of the Pacifica Network, are carrying the program. To fund this program, we do need you. So I ask kindly those who have the wherewithal to please become paid subscribers. And how do you do that? Go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. And I'm putting that link in the boat chats right now. And when you do that, you ensure that I can continue to do this. I actually need some help, but I need about 600-700 more people before I can actually hire help. So right now, the 16 hours, 7 days continues. But please, however you can, support the program if you have the wherewithal to do so. One other thing, I want you to have a happy Labor Day. Enjoy yourself. I'll be right here in the studio. Actually, I think I'm going to spend tomorrow cleaning this mess up. I haven't cleaned up everything from the Netroots convention, so I have equipment thrown all over the place. There's dirt on the ground that needs cleaning up. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to work on some other videos, etc., so that we have a fresh start on Tuesday. We have the show set up on tape, I think, for Monday on KPFT. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live show here or not Labor Day. We'll see whether somebody invites me out for barbecue or something. I may take a few hours off to do that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, folks, love you all. Thank you for being here. Please support the program however you can. And you have a wonderful rest of your day. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby, right? You do, right? Guess how we end this baby? I am what?
All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.